I play. Baby, won't you come my way? Come my way.
What's up, friends? I'm Maxwell. Welcome back to my channel. This is Max Reacts. Tonight I'm watching a video by Impressive that says Rihanna, Beyonce, and Taylor are saving the music industry, ? And Normani and Chloe Bailey album delays. Let's see what she says. Listen to these intros.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. There are a few music topics I want to get into in this video. I did hear a report that Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Rihanna will be touring next year. Now, Beyonce already confirmed it, and Taylor also hinted at it, and rumors are swirling that Rihanna might be kicking off a tour next year as well. So it's going to be a pretty big era in music, and it seems like a lot of well-established artists are coming back out.
I love these videos still.
And they
They're
all
really
seem
pretty
to be coming out around the same time, and it kind of makes me wonder, well, are they coming out to save the music industry from its drought? Because the music industry has been a little dry, I will say that. And I kind of noticed it by looking at chart data and looking at all the first week sales. A lot of artists have been suffering when it comes to numbers, and it's at a point where older music is actually outselling the new music. And Billboard did a whole write-up about the state of music today. They're saying that there's too many songs and not enough hits. They're also talking about how much of a struggle it is to actually break new artists. And honestly, new artists today can succeed without labels. They could get a viral hit on TikTok and they could pay for their own playlisting and put in their own work without the help of a major label. Also, the way people listen to music these days have changed. People no longer listen to the radio like that. So a lot of these entities in the music industry are losing their influence and power. People are not buying music like that. They're streaming, so they're losing money as well. And a lot of label executives are concerned because they have to put out money to invest in these newer artists, but they're not getting back what they want in return. And this is why a lot of times the labels aren't really investing in their artists like that. They much rather their artists do the work by themselves and get the hits by themselves before putting money into them. I kind of do feel bad for the new artists on these labels because they do have to fight and prove.
Did you know that there's a simple combination of natural ingredients that will help you poop out pounds of old rotten waste in your colon within just
and prove that they are worth the investment? But the music industry is in a tricky place right now, and the labels are at a point where they are relying on established artists only, which is why Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Rihanna coming back out is a big deal, because these are the heavy hitters. These are the pop artists who are going to sell. They not only sell out records, but they also sell out stadiums, and the industry can make massive amounts of money with these three alone. Beyonce is 20 plus years in her career, and she's still selling a lot of records. And I noticed with her album Renaissance, she didn't drop visuals this time, but she still was able to sell 300,000 in the first week, which is impressive considering that artists don't sell like that in this current day and age. Even though she sells a lot of records, the bulk of her profit doesn't come from her album sales. It actually comes from her touring. That's where she stands to make a lot of money, not only for herself, but for the label. Also, Taylor Swift is a huge heavy hitter. I mean, she's big. Her first week sales have always been very impressive. She did release a new album called Midnights, and I'm hearing that the album is going to sell well over 1 million units in the first week, which is absolutely insane, especially in this current climate in music. And also her re-recorded albums were doing crazy numbers as well. So Taylor Swift definitely is a huge heavy hitter in the industry, and her going on tour is only going to bring in more money for the industry. Lastly, Rihanna. Rihanna is who everybody is waiting for, because she's going to be one of the ones to get the music industry out of this drought, because she is a huge money maker. She is a hit maker, and everybody has been anticipating new music from her. In fact, she's set to release her first single in 6 years, and this is going to be a single from the Wakanda Forever soundtrack. Also, it was rumored that she is working on an album, and also she will headline the Super Bowl halftime show next year. So she's setting up everything perfectly. She's making sure she gets all of the exposure, and she's making sure she maximizes her profit in this music thing, because Rihanna knows that her main profit doesn't come from music, but she does have obligations to fulfill, so she has to drop more music. However, she's at a point where if she drops music, she has to make sure she goes big, because she wants to make some money from all of this too. She knows the label is going to eat a lot off of her, but she also wants to get her coins as well. But anyway, I brought this whole discussion up because I thought it was very interesting that Beyonce, Rihanna, and Taylor Swift are going on tour next year. I think this is some good news for the music industry because they could stand to make a lot of money. And that's all they really care about. If the artist makes them money, they're going to make them a priority every single time. Now, shifting gears a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about the singer Normani. I feel like Normani does not have the proper support from her label RCA. And I did bring up that Billboard article, and I was kind of talking about how a lot of times these labels don't want to really invest in newer artists. They're kind of scared that they will lose money, and I can understand that from a business point. But a lot of times they want ready-made artists. They want artists who could do the work on their own before they really start paying attention to them. And I think this is what Normani is going through right now. She has to really prove to her label that she is worth the investment. I hate to say it, but I don't truly feel like her label believes in her. And this recent post from Brandy actually confirmed my suspicions. Brandy revealed that she did work with Normani on her debut album. And somebody asked her about it and said, Brandy, are you still working with Normani on her debut album? She said, I pray she keeps some of the things we did together, but sometimes it's out of the artist's control. But I love me some Normani. Now, when I saw this, I was a little annoyed because I was like, wait a minute. Normani has a song with Brandy, the living legend Brandy, the vocal Bible, and RCA is still holding this album back? Like, what is really going on? This kind of made me feel like the label doesn't care, which is a shame because she has a lot of potential. And Normani has had some very impressive streams for an artist who hasn't even released a debut album yet. However, RCA doesn't care about the big hits that she has. They only care about her consistency. There is a pressure for Normani to release a hit every time she drops. And if she's not making a hit, then RCA is going to pay her dust and delay her project again and again and again. So I do think Normani has to fight and prove that she is worth the investment. She had to fight and prove that for her song Wild Side. She actually paid for her own music video, and the budget for her music video was around $1 million. There's a lot that I had to
You had to put up some money
invest
for it?
my own.
That's right. Invest.
Yeah, music
invest.
video. Yeah, alone. But I believe in.
So it's over $1 million budget, huh? That's crazy.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, luckily for Normani, Wild Side did end up doing good. Even after all the obstacles she went through releasing the song, it performed well. If you look at the stats, it definitely wasn't a flop. Unfortunately, Normani's follow-up single, Fair, did not do as well. And because of this, the label decided to delay her yet again. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. RCA doesn't care if she has hits under her belt. They're looking for the next hit because they want to be convinced that she is worth the investment. If she doesn't perform well, RCA will be quick to turn their attention away from her, and they'll be quick to delay her project again and again and again. And the reason why they do that is because they simply don't believe in her. If they actually believed in her, they'll let her drop the album and they'll watch and see how the audience receives it. But for some reason, they don't want to take that chance. And it's interesting to me because there are some artists on RCA who don't have the same numbers as Normani, but they get more chances and they're actually allowed to release their music on a consistent basis. But for some reason, Normani is not. And I don't understand why that is, but whatever the
Stop taking your generic multivitamin. I'm going to fill you.
Whatever the case is, it's pretty obvious that RCA is hesitant to release her music. I think they're making a mistake with how they're handling her career. I really do, because the more they delay her project, the more she's going to lose momentum, and she has to come back and work 10 times harder to prove herself and get back the public's attention again. So she's in a very tricky place. But I am hoping her next single performs well, because if it does perform well, that'll probably make her label release her music quicker. I don't know, but I am hoping that it would change things. But she definitely needs a hit. And I do want to bring up the singer Chloe Bailey, because she too is kind of going through a similar situation. She's not on RCA, she's actually under Columbia, and she's also signed to Beyonce's entertainment company, Parkwood. But she too expressed that her label has been holding her album back.
Columbia and RCA are both under Sony, and that tends to be a thing with Sony artists in general. All them Sony subsidiaries tend to do this to all their artists. I'm noticing.
She was on Twitter Spaces a couple of weeks ago, and she said that Columbia won't release her album until she makes them another hit song. Now, Have Mercy was a hit, but Chloe's other singles didn't perform the same way Have Mercy did. So she too is under pressure to put out a hit song, because if she doesn't, she'll face another delay. And she talked about that, and she also talked about Normani's situation too.
Speaking of Normani, y'all can kiss our black sis. Let me tell you something. I love Normani. You guys don't know half the shit that us as black women in the music industry go through. And from what I've seen, she works very hard. That's why I sympathize so much, because I feel like sometimes we go through the same thing. But nobody knows that. So of course, where everyone else's lack and their weakness, it shows as a reflection on us. But and I hate seeing how you guys will pit us against each other. Not you guys. I'm not talking like you guys, but people will. There can be multiple phenomenally bad actors who can perform their asses off. It does not just have to be one.
I say
So
that
that's what
every other
Chloe
video, I
said about
swear.
Normani, and I 100% agree with her and applaud her for saying what she said, especially when it comes to the whole comparison thing. I've said that before in one of my previous videos, so I'm glad that Chloe is letting people know that they could support them both. But I want to get back to what Chloe said about not being able to drop her album until she gets a hit. She also said this on Twitter Spaces, and I can't find the audio, but she too is in a very frustrated situation when it comes to her music releases, and she has to work really hard and put a lot into the promotion of her songs. And one thing I will say about Chloe is Chloe does put herself out there, and she also has a really good team. Parkwood Entertainment is a great management team. Having that connection to Beyonce definitely opens doors, but also she puts herself out there too. So she's been able to perform a lot. She's booked several performances, and she has also been acting and getting different brand deals. So she has been putting in a lot of work, and her team at Parkwood is just amazing. Even though Columbia has been holding back her releases, Parkwood is going to make sure she gets work and she stays visible. So that's a good thing about her situation. But still, it's been an obstacle for her to release her album. Now, she does have a new single coming out called For the Night, and this is her 4th single, I believe. And this single has to do well. And I don't necessarily think it has to be a smash hit song, but it does have to perform better than some of her previous releases, because if it doesn't, her label is just going to make things harder for her. So right now she's recruiting the comedian Drewski for the video, and I think the video is going to be funny. She also recruited Lotto to be featured on the song. Some people don't think this is a good idea. Personally, I would have liked if Chloe actually recruited an R&B male singer to be on the song. You know, somebody like Bryson Tiller. I think he would have been a better fit, but I think Chloe felt like having a hip-hop feature would help in some way, so she's trying to see what works. Also, she's been teasing the song for months to get people familiar with it, and she even revealed that For the Night is actually about the rapper Gunna. And she didn't mind revealing this information because she does hope that it will help with streams.
I'm going to tell y'all a little secret about For the Night. I might regret saying this, but hey, maybe it'll help in streams. I don't even think he knows this. I wrote For the Night about Gunna. Yep, I said it, bitches. I said it. I wrote that song after the Breakfast Club interview, I believe. That's how I was inspired for the song. I said it. I fucking said it. So y'all better stream the fucking song because I spilled the fucking tea. Y'all be talking about I need to spill the tea. I spilled the motherfucking tea.
So that's what Chloe said. And I think Chloe is really doing all of this because she wants to build people's interest in her single. Because once again, this song for the night has to hit. If it doesn't, Columbia is going to delay her again. It's unfortunate, but this is what labels do to artists, especially new artists. They don't make them the priority. These artists have to do what they can to prove themselves and convince the label that they're worth the investment. But I hope Chloe and Normani don't have to be hindered for much longer. I want them to be able to release their album. I think they put in a lot of work and they should get the opportunity to share their music with their fans. Anyway, tell what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you.
It's a really good one. Just like the last one I watched by D'Angelo that talked about TikTok ruining the music industry. I think it's interesting to see the different perspectives of what's happening in the world of music now. It's so different. I think, you know, if you grew up in the time before streams, when you went and bought albums and maybe you didn't care about what single was hot, maybe you just wanted to see the track list to see, okay, what songs are on here and say, okay, that looks like it's gonna be a good one based on the title alone. I miss that. I so miss it. I think that's what we're missing now in this new age of releasing music where you just have to have a hit. You have to have a hit. And a hit is just, like she said, not timeless at all. You can have a hit today and it just be ghost tomorrow. There's so many songs. I go back to playlists. When I put my playlist together on Spotify, I do it by season. So spring, summer, winter, fall, winter, sorry. And today I was listening to, I think my winter 2020 playlist. I was like, damn. It ain't been that long, but these were songs that were huge and I forgot about them. I mean, you don't hear them anymore because they are not timeless. And then the stuff that you do consider to be timeless are by artists that people don't really pay attention to. But yes, I do think Rihanna, B, and Taylor are doing very great things in music, and they're gonna always be able to. Another part of it that people miss is that they own a larger percentage of their own music now. So the labels profit off of them in some ways, but they really don't as much anymore. That's why they can drop when they want to. They can say what they want to say. It can just be free. I know for sure with B, she's on Parkwood in Columbia. I think Taylor is signed to herself and then another entity. Rihanna is signed to herself, like her own label, and then Roc Nation. So when they have these deals like that, which a lot of artists who have been in the game decades have now, they do what they want to do. Hell, even Chris is like that right now, I think, with his stuff. I think when you look at it, it says, you know, Chris Brown under license too. But even he's with a Sony label. And that's something else when it comes to like the Chloe and Normani thing. Any label that is like affiliated with Sony, I'm noticing they do this with their artists. They've been doing this since before this change in the trend. And when I see these arguments, I think to myself, I'm like, damn, where was this support and the rallying about this when Tinashe was trying her hardest? She was killing it. Everything she put out was there. They had the entire package, dancing, singing, all of it. But nobody ever really rallied for her the way we do for Chloe and Normani. And that's not me taking away from it. We still rallying for Chloe and Normani and SZA. Like, all of them should be out, putting music out, and it should just be, you know, what it's supposed to be. But for whatever reason, not even for whatever reason, we know what the reasons are. It's either that labels feel like the market is oversaturated, so they just kind of limit which black woman can make it at that time, which is the stupidest shit ever. Or it really is just this fucked up thing of you need a hit to get an album out, and you really just don't. I think if more labels looked at it from like, let's put it all out there, and we see from the 12 songs on this album, which 4 people are loving and we promote those, like that's how it used to go. That's how it used to go. Anybody remember when people would put albums out and we go to iTunes and we look at the most streamed song, and before we knew it, that was the song that was getting a music video that was put out as a single? I think we lose sight of what used to work because we feel like we have to jump on the trend now. And it's like some of the old stuff that work still work to get you, you know, your return on the investment that you put into these artists. But again, I could be reaching, I'm not a music industry exec, I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying what I feel about it. But this was a good video. I'm excited for everything that is coming out. I really do hope we get music from these new artists that we love, in addition to, you know, seeing a lot of our favorite artists that have been around for a while continue to come out. I think Renaissance was amazing. I don't listen to Taylor Swift, so I have not listened to Midnight, But I've seen nothing but positive things around it. And just like y'all, I'm ready for Rihanna to come back. I am ready for it. And I'm even enjoying a little bit of what Ciara is doing right now. I think it's pretty incredible to see. And I will always just hold out hope that we get some Carrie at some point. Y'all know I love Carrie Hilson. I just love her from a songwriting standpoint. In addition to her music just being substantive and truthful. We want to go back to when females were dominating music, which is what I see a lot of people saying in the comments of this video. Give us Rihanna, give us B, give us Ciara, give us Carrie. I promise you, if you know, 2007 through 2010 with the four of them, we got some of the most incredible music, y'all. It was so different and so layered. And I think we do see a lot of new artists coming in and they're doing the same thing. If they all could exist in a space that they want to, but labels and politics and antics are not allowing them to, I think we'd be in love with music again. I think that's another aspect of it. People are just kind of falling out of love with music. It's short, it sucks, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's sexual, or it's depressed. So it's just crazy, but that's my opinion. Let me know yours below. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time. Peace.